Welcome to World Cinema Reviews. This is your host Frank the Vamp, and tonight we got a very special video. We're gonna talk about Rob Zombie's take on the Halloween universe with Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. Now, these movies, even though they did pretty well, especially part 1 on the box office, they are pretty much hated by critics. There's a lot of people. There's mostly, and not just critics, but it's a lot of people who just don't like these films. They criticize it, and We'll talk about why. But definitely, I wanna talk about what is good about it, what's bad about it, and what we can get out of it. And definitely, you're tuning in to hear my opinion on whether I like part 1 and part 2. Um, just to tell you one thing, I had my mind, I still feel the same way about one of the films, but another one of the films, I talked to my friend Boogeyman Ben. By the way, check out his channel. He's awesome. He's one of the best ever. He's so great. He loves horror, and he loves the Halloween franchise. And he told me to revisit one of the films, and I watched it again. Completely changed my opinion about it. So we're gonna talk and about Halloween 1 and 2. But before we start diving into, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, which is seeing, the awesome part, the awesome original source material, John Carpenter's Halloween, part 1 and 2. How do this stack up comparing them? And I'm gonna tell you right away, they're not comparable. Do not do this. It's my fault. I've done it. Maybe a lot of people have done it, but if you're doing it, stop, because it's just a different film. It's just that film. It's John Carpenter's films are they're perfect. They're awesome. They're incredible. They're untouchable. So if you try to mimic these films, Rob Zombie would have an impossible task, but he didn't. He tried to go in a different direction, which I admire, and we're gonna hear what I think about Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. First of all, so Rob Zombie brings us a very interesting cast here. Scout Taylor-Compton, his wife, of course, Sherry Moon Zombie, the awesome Danielle Harris. Remember the little girl from Halloween 4 and Halloween 5? She's back, and she's pretty awesome. Tyler Mane playing the boogeyman himself, Michael Myers. And, the awesome Chucky, Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky. And he's a great actor, man. Brad Dourif is so underrated as an actor. I love the cast. I want to knock something out of the cast right away. The About now, no comparisons. I like Michael McDowell, of course. I've forgotten the awesome Michael McDowell as Malcolm McDowell. I'm sorry, as Dr. Loomis. I really like them, but he's, of course, Donald Pleasence. It's untouchable as Dr. Loomis. He will always be Dr. Loomis in my mind, and there's just no comparator. He just plays it a different way. Now, of course, like I said, we're not, get that out of your mind. We're not comparing, so we're getting that out of the way. Now let's look at these two films as what they are standalones. Okay, like they were inspired. The plot takes us into right away into seeing the fractured psyche of Michael Myers. And Michael Myers, starts murdering, his school bully, kills his older sister and her boyfriend, and kills his mom's abusive boyfriend, and spares Angel Myers, the little sister, um, and gets incarcerated and put into a mental institution when he's only 10, and he and basically the film takes us through, even though a similar plot line that of course eventually you know Michael will escape and have a similar uh, film as the other one. We are the main difference of this film compared to the other one. Say we're not comparing, but it's just a different story. The different story takes us into seeing how the psyche of Michael Myers actually is, trying to understand how this little boy became a monster, seeing his fractured psyche and seeing why, seeing his love for the mask, seeing that he doesn't commit the murders, it's the mask commits the murders. He completely, at first, starts talking to Dr. Loomis and tries to help him understand why he is the way and tries to help him. But the more time it goes, his illness just prevents more into his inner self and doesn't talk anymore. And he is deteriorating mentally, and you can tell. Why, you know, first of all, I love the Halloween remake. Sorry if you hate it, but I love it because it doesn't try to be Halloween, the original Halloween. It's an exploration of a man and why he is the way that he is. Um, Dr. Loomis, fine job, like I said, Malcolm McDowell tries to understand and tries to see the way we would ask questions to this man if we could, but there's just not very much we can get because it's a man with multiple mental illnesses, maybe even just the horrible brain disorders that we can even fathom. More on that on part two, where it's dwelled even more. Now, if we're dwelling on this, you know, then we see the changes of what Michael Myers is. We see him talking, we see him as a kid, and then we see him really just being there. It's just not like it's not this supernatural creature of the original. He's more of a mental patient, of somebody that's hurting and is obsessed about killing. And it's just what I like. Besides, the exploration of his mental problems, I definitely like the take Tyler Mane takes on Michael Myers is a different, more of a brutal, gigantic man. Tyler Mane, this professional wrestler, is, and really imposing. Like Michael Myers for just this expressionless, you know, horror. Now, he is the boogeyman, but this man is just brutally horrifying in a different way, in a massive way. I just recently did a review of See No Evil Part 1 and 2. I mean, Glenn Jacobs is horrific, but I mean, Tyler Mane is scary, man. If I met this dude, piss my pants, in a dark alley, you're done, man. The Brad Dourif, awesome. All the performances, I love the Neil Harris. The little girl, Scream Queen. Um, and I really like the fact that Scout Taylor-Compton didn't try to be Jamie Lee Curtis. It's just stand up. Very nice film, very nice exploration. I will give this an A minus B plus. Part two. H2, 2009, comes back, and I love the fake out. Okay, first of all, yeah, I used to hate this movie badly. Why? Because I thought it was sort of a torture porn. I saw Michael Myers. There's a scene with the when he's killing the nurse that is so brutal and so unlike the other Michael Myers, where he's just wants to kill. He likes to see people die. It's just a sick obsession of the original Michael Myers. These two Michael Myers is just brutal. He's just a fractured psyche, a mental patient. Now I understand it. My bad was to compare it. Like I said, I didn't want to do it. Just something that happened. So if you have done it, don't blame yourself. Completely understandable. I truly began to understand. Like I said, most of the cast comes back, you know, reprising their roles. Um, the other one that was hard to watch was the how brutal he acted and how animal like you know uh, the Michael Myers acting on part two. But I learned to really understand it now. I also see that the plot, how coming back with my same original thought. The plot is basically it almost follows Halloween too. The hospital. Michael it's escapes out of the ambulance through a car accident and then starts to chase um, Scout Taylor-Compton in the hospital, kind of like Jamie Lee Curtis back on part two, but it's a fake out because it turns out to be a dream. Even though Michael's uh, body's not recovered, um, it's presumed dead. The What follows though, the plot is actually an inner mental illness about and a significance of a white horse of a mental illness and on what does it mean. And it also tells us Scout Taylor-Compton's problem being, and the big reveals, of course, no big spoiler here. So we're pretty familiar that she turns out to be Angel Myers. She's Michael Myers' sister, younger sister, and the connection they have and the mental illness that she is developing, and it's completely apparent. I just thanks to a rewatch. Thank you, Boogeyman man. Ben, you're awesome. I saw it again, and I apologize to the error in my ways. Halloween 2 is just as good as the original. So I'm gonna give Halloween 2 an A minus or a B plus. So now you know what I think about these two films. I really, really recommend you to watch both with an open mind. If you are expecting to see Carpenters here, you will not. Um, what you're gonna get is a different style director, a more brutal style. Love the musical, even though that hunting music for it's awesome. This is just a different way. The listen to the soundtrack on part two. Love Hurts, so freaking appropriate. Nights in White Satin, that type of music, so unnerving, amazing. So I'm gonna give these two movies a two thumbs up. Screw the critics, man. I speak for people who love horror. I love horror. Even I could be wrong though. I saw this again, and maybe if you have already seen these two films, you gotta go. If you hate them, give them another watch, and try to see them with an open point of view, like I'm saying. Enjoy yourself. Hope you like this video. Subscribe if you love me. If you like the films, if you like the video, take it easy. Take care. Be well.